understand a watershed. You recall the very popular phrase, a watershed is a watershed is a watershed, by our former secretary, the late Jimmy Lopez. So, a watershed, the big portion, no, kanang, kumbaga, ang Davao City, we have a very big watershed, kaya nga ato ang headwater, tuwa pa, gikan sa San Fernando, Bukidnon. Ang ato ang Davao River, ang headwater niya is in San Fernando, Bukidnon. So when it comes to flooding, it's very important to understand nga ang ato ang watershed, dili lang ni siya hangtod matina. Posible nga nagaulan, kusog ang ulan sa Bukidnon, but the Davao City, grabe ka-init. Kalitra ni baha. That's very possible because of our watershed. So we have to understand the geomorphological setting of our areas. So in a watershed, this is the major one. Posible said ka mag-classify na sub-watershed. Kanina pong magagmay sapa din that are connecting with the major rivers. These are what you call sub-watershed. So din po posible ang upstream aning mga minor rivers nag-ulan po din So communities downstream can also be affected. Okay? So why should we understand our watershed and about the river system? Number one, our rivers migrate over time. When we say migrate, no, ang tao gani migrate kasi gusto mo adto Europe din taas kamot. Kasi gusto mo adto Canada. Migrate sa migrate to Canada. But I tell you, babalik at babalik pa rin kayo sa Pilipinas. Sama na sa itong river system. No, ang ato ang river, nagabalhin-balhin. But they will eventually go back to their natural course. So this is an example. I just took this through a Google Earth. No? So actually, you have to maximize itong Google Earth. Daghan gid mong makita. This is a river system in Malita. Nakalimot lang ko unsa ni siya na river sa Malita. Naman si Davao Occidental na to din So this is the image in 2003 and the same image in 2009. Now if you will look at the river here, no, naay portion din nga medyo straight pa siya in 2003. But after in 2009, so that is just 6 years after, nakita ninyo, nagliko-liko na niya siya. And possibly this whole flat area alongside this river system, this is what we call the flood plain. There is a possibility that this river can migrate onto this area. So, inanang iyahang characteristics sa tuwang suba, nagabalihin-balihin. Now, this is another Google image in Davao del Norte. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is in Libuganon River. Now, you can see here, these are traces of the old channel. Kanang mga nag-letter C din Sa una, diha nagagi ang river. Nibalhin na siya karon, muna niyang iyahang channel. But again, as I've mentioned, babalik at babalik pa rin ang river system. So this abandoned channel, kung ikaw kay excited ka, nilapat imong yuta, kay wala na ang suba, nitukod kag balay dinhi, hulat lang. Mubalik lang ang suba diha kung walay buhaton na mga measures. Another example, so here you can see an image or a video, no, collated satellite images. You can see how the river channel changes over time. And here, this is in Cagayan River as well. You can see these are abandoned channels. So, diha sa una nag-agi ang ato ang river system. And you can see here, posible na po siya mubalik sa iyahang dating giagihan. So that's what we have to understand about our river system. That we have mentioned flooding Again, flooding is a natural process. No, basta gani mo overflow ang tubig sa amo pa technically baha na siya. Naman ko uban mangutan na may ginabaha inihang area ngayon sila dili. Kay ang tubig kumula pas taga taga tuhod raman. So dili pa daw na baha sa ilaha. Siguro ang baha tagaliog na. Pero on a scientific definition, once na mo-overflow ang tubig sa iyahang channel, kanal ba na siya, river, creek, basta pila pa na ka-sentimetro, basta mo-overflow, it's already considered as a flood. Siguro pahigaw na to para lapas tao, baha na siguro to para sa ilaha. But anyway, that's just our definition. Okay, so we have different types of flooding depending on its location and duration. So kami ang ato ang mga complete ani in Davao region. We have river flood, we have coastal flood, and we have urban flood. Now, ang difference lang ani kung asa nahitabo ang pagbaha. Okay, and in terms of duration, duha lang. We have the flash flood and the sheet flood. So what is a flash flood? It's just, kumbaga, flash, no, the flash, if you know him, paspas kaayo ang pagbaha. So this is because of the steep slopes, the amount of water. So pag di na gani mo kadagan na ay baha, flash flood ang tawagan na. Okay, this is an example of a video of a flash flood. Just nakuha lang siya no, sa internet na a group of people enjoying the river. Ang uban nakadagan, ang uban sige nagulat lang false magani na siya gani, if you can see here. And in just a matter of time, just a number of seconds, kusog na ang tubig. So this is a classic example of a flash flood. So do you think, I'm not sure if ano ba ni sila? Nakuha ba na sila? Another classic example of a flash flood. Now I want you to, look into, amo niya kung i-highlight man good ang time. No, actually ako ni gitanaw gabi eh. It took only mga 2 to 3 minutes, no, for the water to cross this highway. So another classic example of a flash flood. Now when we talk about flash flood, I will just siguro just a bit kay naaman nato ang Davao Occidental to really talk about this. If you have seen the news, no, in one of the barangays in Jose Abad Santos, katong daming bitaw during the earthquake. No, there was an we experienced a magnitude 7.8 earthquake. We have a lot of mass wasting, especially in the Davao Occidental province. And some of this mass wasting happened and was along the river system. Kung sige siya nga river, San Isidro, Nuwing. This is Nuwing River. Nagdam ang kaninga mga materials. So what is scary about this, kung wala yun siya na-address immediately, kung nagsigig ulan, kaning dam, this is an artificial dam, possibly mag-breach. And once na mag-breach ang isa ka dam, this will now turn into a flash flood. And downstream of this Nuwing River, na atong isa ka barangay, which I think was recommended na nag-preemptive evacuation din sila that time habang wala pa nila address. But based on reports right now, na hinahinay na, nigawas na ang tubig ani because of our help from other government agencies. So, muna ang mga critical and delikado as well pag na mga artificial damming. Now, next is the sheet flood that I've mentioned earlier. What's the difference niya from flash flood? Si sheet flood has a wider extent. Mas lapad ang iyahang coverage. hinay ang pagsaka sa tubig, meaning pwede pa ka makabakwit. And this is a normal occurrence, especially in Davao del Norte. No, kanang Carmen, Tagum, Panabo. There was really this time, years, no, previous years na every year na agad ning sheet flood sa ilaha. Now, ang major impact of sheet flooding is mostly on the agricultural and economic impacts. So, if your area, labi na ang Del Norte, di man gid malikayan. They are the catchment of all the river systems coming from the upland municipalities in Del Norte. So, alang nga naman atong i-relocate ang mga munisipyo unsa ni kadaghan. So, there are some measures that can be undertaken and can be implemented for them to adapt. Napit taga Del Norte diri. Have you experienced this type of flooding? No, kung dili siya malikayan, we adapt to this present condition in the area. Now, what are the causes of flooding? So, it's being enumerated here, one by one. Of course, prolonged rainfall, mo gyud na ang main cause of flooding. We have typhoons and storms, storm surge. Here in number 5, as I've mentioned, dam or levee failure. Urbanization is one of the anthropogenic factors of flooding. Kung kita mahilig ta, halos semento na nato ang tibuok Davao City, unsa ang disadvantage? Pag mag-ulan, gamayng ulan, wala na'y kasudlan ang ulan. Di na siya mo infiltrate sa yuta kay puro na semento. So what happens? Surface runoff na siya. Tanan padulong na sa tuwang mga kanal. And if our drainage system is not designed to accommodate the maximum rainfall no nga pwede makuha sa Davao City, ang nakahitabo, instead na pasulod sa kanal, ang tubig ka na sa kanal, magawas. No, mo nang ato ang ma-experience even in the previous. Pero right now, I think, based on my observation, halos na-address na nato ning mga sheet flooding concerns nato. Okay, so these are just some of the flooding incidents all over the Philippines, and we also have here in Central Java, Indonesia. Now, I want to highlight this thing, especially when it comes to land development. This is in Cagayan de Oro River. I was assigned before in NGB Cagayan de Oro, so I was very familiar with this area. This community is called Isla de Oro. No, they were during my time, kaning mga communities din here, they want their properties nga mga matituluhan, and it was not given or wala ni sugot si DNR that time, because first and foremost, si Isla de Oro is actually part of the Cagayan de Oro River. During Typhoon Sendong, no, this is in Sendong in 2011. Kani siya nga community, this is the meander, pero sa unang panahon, si Cagayan de Oro River, straight ni siya. Kani gud ang iyahang giagihan. And then because of flooding, several flooding incidents, natipunog, nag-deposit ng yuta dinhi, nahimong isla, hangtod sa ni-connect na siya sa mainland of Cagayan de Oro River. It was developed into a community. Here comes Typhoon Sendong. Too much rainwater. Ang buhaton sa tubig, mangitag shortcut. So, unsa ang gi-shortcutan? Ang Isla de Oro. So, na-erase yun ang whole community. Now, this is also in Infanta, Quezon. So, before ni balhin ang river dinhi, ang iyahang channel is kani. No, kaning red. Nagbaha, daghan og yuta, dala, napuno ang channel ni balhin. Okay, so these are the important things that we have to look into when we select settlement sites. Okay, so similar with these photos. Okay, so we'll just run through that. And then, okay, this is an example of a video, no? Mahilig man gyud ta develop along river channels. Actually, nasa balaod sa atong water code of the Philippines, no? Nga naatay, pito ka meters? 3,720. Nakalimutan ko sa buffer zone is meant na dapat along a river, especially pag nanaka sa urban, nanakay 3 meters na buffer zone, dapat walay, dili siya tuyan. In some countries, kani nga mga areas is being established as a park, no, or a room for the river. So, bigit siya tukuran, but it will allow kung pananglitan mo baha ang river, kana gihapon ng iyahang bahaan, no, kana mga areas. I've read recently in Iloilo City, no, just this week lang, they have established a room for the river, 100, if I'm not mistaken, 100 meters, no, on both sides of the river, gibawalan na i-develop into mga permanent structures. So those are some of the nature-based solution that is being implemented. Now here you can see just a few solutions that is being recommended. Of course, drainage system. We have to improve our drainage system. We have to conduct regular cleaning. Kasi in some areas, kani po ang culprit, basura. No, naatay gwapo nga drainage system, but kita mismo, personally, are we really throwing our trash appropriately? Are we really segregating our trash based on the Solid Waste Management Act? So, kita mismo makatabang ta. Okay, we have of course the hard infrastructure. We have this as pareho sa Iloilo, they maintain the flood and the wetland. And in some nature-based solution, kani, they do not cement or kana concretize bang tawag tamang term, no? Isementohon ang whole land, but they are implementing mga green infrastructure to allow rain to infiltrate gihapon. So kanina, I think in Davao City, naana sa ato ang mga ordinance in a certain property na percentage dapat na mahimo siyang green space. So pag wala kay green space, imuhang development, medyo dili pa na siya makapasa. So these are some of the solutions. And of course, kaning harvesting, rainwater harvesting is very important. It's also being implemented in Davao City. Before katagan o building permit, dapat pagbisita nila sa imong balay na kay tangke to harvest the rain. So it's one of our measures as a resident here in Davao City. As what I've mentioned, in areas like Davao del Norte, we can implement the retrofitting or adaptation. Now, in some countries, nga grabe ka bahaunon, ang ground floor nila is only meant for parking space. So, tanan residents, elevated sila, depende on the maximum flood level that they have encountered. Now, as what I've mentioned, our nature-based solution for flood, it's a long-term and a much cheaper strategy. Now, example of this again, the preservation of riparian buffer zones. So here is a room for the river project. It's being implemented in Europe and now in the Philippines. Some are having this adaptive approach still in Europe. So, ang ilaha dito, naa sila'y agihanan, mura siya overpass, no, that crosses through all the buildings. Kaya kung magbaha, abot man gyud dinhi, dili maapektuhan ang ilahang mga, kumbaga naa sila'y route pa to pass through using these bridges that are connecting one building from another. So they really adapt on the flood susceptibility of their locality. Okay, again, yung hybrid approach. And in some countries, they turn this mitigation into art. Okay, so you can see here, mga approaches, di lang siya semento-semento. So medyo para gapapuntan-awon, the integrated art with their adaptive solutions. So as what is being mentioned here, mitigation does not have to be ugly. In fact, ang ilang mitigation, nahimo siyang tourism area. No, mas daghan nagtan-aw kay apart from its purpose, the art is still there. So we just have to change the people's mindset. So still in Europe, sa ilaha, just let it flood. Kumbaga, baha ka lang. Kami, nag-adapt na lang sa inyong baha. So, they still, the flood and the people, kumbaga, exist together gihapon. Now, this is my last topic for today. It's on the cars subsidence.